My full name is Judith Miriam. Siegel was my maiden name, and I am going by Goodman now. I can remember horses the sound of hoofs clopping outside, to deliver the milk, and ice in the ice box and stuff like that. I mean, I feel more at home at Wilder Ranch than I do now in anybody else's home. My parents both worked. My father was the director of a Jewish community center. It's like the YMCA, but it's Jewish. My mother was a school teacher. My mother never learned to drive. My father was the driver. My father loved to drive, and almost every summer, because his parents lived in Los Angeles, we would drive across the country in whatever raggedy car we owned at the time. And so I was familiar with the whole country, geographic country, from the time I was 2 years old. There were still signs on places that said no Jews allowed. I was very aware that there was something about being Jewish that was not acceptable to the larger part of the world. The 70,000 or 80,000 people in Atlantic City were Jewish, and it was a real strong community, and although I don't think we knew exactly what terrible things were happening, this was a very unifying time for Jews. I can remember vaguely how shocked we all were by the first newsreels of the concentration camps. But during World War II, this was passionate. This was a passionate feeling. We were positive about our country. We were positive about what my dad was doing overseas and my mother was doing as the USO director. I mean, it just went to my heart. And so I ended up in Colorado, very far from home.
Were you happy about that?
Well, no, I had never been far from home. It was a daunting experience.
How'd you get there? On train?
Train. I remember saying goodbye, Mom and Dad.
Did they cry?
They didn't. I did. Once I didn't let them see me cry. It was the first time in my life I had not been my father's child. I didn't know I had anything else in me until I got loose from their influence, and then I just sort of went overboard. I did have dates when I was in my freshman year, and one of them was a young boy named Sidney Pepper from Pueblo. And Sidney Pepper was this gawky young man, and I wouldn't let him kiss me. I didn't know anything about what girls did on dates and what was expected of them, so he didn't last very long. But he did introduce me to Jerry.
What was your first date like with him? Did you go on a date?
I don't know that we ever went on dates. I think we went to a meeting of the American Youth for Democracy.
Now there's a date. How romantic.
When I wrote about him to my parents, they were delighted. A nice Jewish boy from a dentist's household. But he was exciting. He had all these ideas